Let's review another function that you've used before, input. And remember how we said functions are like people who do useful things for us? Well, here is input. And remember, we can always tell what functions are because they have brackets after their name in Python. So the input function does three things for us in Python. One, it will display some text to the user, just like the print function does, but it will also let people type in their response. And then finally, it will give that response back to your program. So the first step is it's going to display some text. And in order to do this, the input function will need an argument. So remember, an argument is a piece of information that your program must give to the function in order for it to operate correctly. And in this case, the argument that your program will need to give is the piece of text that it's going to display, just like the print function. So remember, we supply the argument inside the round brackets, and then the function will take the information in the argument and it will use it to accomplish its first step, which is to display some text to the user. Now the next thing it does, which moves beyond the print function, is it will pause and allow the user to type in some information using the keyboard. So here the function will display the little cursor and it will wait for the user to type in information. So the user comes along, presses some keys on the keyboard, in this case types in the name, presses enter, and at this point input will then move to its third step, which will take the response that the user typed in and give it back to the program. So in this situation, the input function does return information back to the program. It's going to take the response, which is going to be a piece of text or a string, and give that back to the program. But in order to remember this information that was given back to the program, your Python program will need to assign it into a variable. This is where we use the equal sign and then a variable on the left-hand side, which will take the value that was returned by the input function and assign it into that variable. Notice once again, variables do not have brackets afterwards, so you know that student is a variable, and also because it is on the left-hand side of the equal sign. And the variables also don't have quotes around them either. So John goes into the variable called student, and then your program can continue on its merry way.